We have finally reached the last chapter of our course in public speaking. This chapter is a little different as it concerns attending a job interview. It is still relevant, however, as it is essentially a sitting down version of public speaking. Of course, the size of our audience changes, as you will probably find yourself across from between 1 to 4 people. The stakes, however, are higher, as you have a limited amount of time to make a good impression, show off your skills and experience, and effectively sell yourself. Therefore, it is essential that you are well prepared. The key to a good job interview is 70% down to good preparation. So, let's look at the best way to prepare yourself. As soon as you receive an invitation to a job interview, you need to do your research. What exactly does the company you're applying to do? Get as much information as you can from the internet, Wikipedia, press articles, and social networks. Look into what their current projects are, write it down, and try to memorize it. Some recruiters like to throw you off balance, so knowing more information than the recruiter can highlight you as someone who is well-read, knowledgeable, and keen to make a good impression. Try and find out a little bit about the recruiter if possible and see what their decision-making power really is. It will make you feel more confident on the day and make you really stand out. Another crucial part of your preparation is to find out exactly where the company is located. Check the address online, plan a route, and schedule more than enough time to get there and have at least 15 minutes spare to calm yourself before the actual interview. You don't want to get stuck in traffic or lost, as that will increase your stress levels and not leave you with a clear head for your interview. It is said that you never have a second chance to make a first good impression. That said, a handshake is the common first gesture that is made when meeting somebody new. When shaking the recruiter's hand, look at them in the eyes, not at the floor, and most definitely not at your hand. Shake their hand firmly, but don't linger, as that will inevitably make them feel uncomfortable. Remember to stay anchored, as we have spoken about previously, and put the same foot and hand forward when giving a handshake. Always remember to smile. Once the recruiter asks you to sit down confidently. Don't slouch and keep both feet on the ground so that you can anchor yourself. Keep both hands on the table and keep them open in order to make open gestures when speaking and answering questions. Your nerves might take over, but don't mess with objects on the table such as a pen, as this can convey nervousness and can be quite irritating. A recruiter will most probably ask you to present yourself briefly at the beginning of an interview. You have to think about what essential information you want the recruiter to remember about you. You often have a limited amount of time, so really focus on the crucial aspects. Introduce the storytelling method that we have spoken about in previous chapters to get a concise speech in your head. What really makes you stand out from the other candidates? And what information do you really want the recruiter to really retain? The infamous question that is often asked at interviews is, what are your strengths and weaknesses? It's not an easy question to answer, and that is why it is advised to plan what you want to say. Do not say, for example, my best strength is that I'm organized. Short answers mean absolutely nothing unless they are backed up with proof. The same goes for your weaknesses. Don't say I'm shy. Declare your weakness, but follow it immediately with an explanation that explains why you are conscious of it and what you have done to overcome it. You could say, I've noticed that I'm not always comfortable in meetings and I don't feel comfortable speaking in front of large groups of people. So I'm currently taking public speaking classes, and thanks to my training, I have noticed a real improvement. When expressing yourself, it is advisable to use positive vocabulary. Avoid words such as I think, I try, I believe, and the problem is that. Opt for positive and assertive vocabulary such as I'm certain, I'm convinced that. Avoid negative statements. Bring in as much positive vocabulary as possible. Don't worry about showing off. Be honest, and if you have a quality or a skill that is worth talking about, then sell yourself. At the end of the interview, make a brief conclusion and go back over the main parts. List the arguments as to why you are suitable for the job, reiterate your motivation for the job, state again when you will be available to start working and that you will be willing to give any further information that might be needed. thank them again, and say that you look forward to seeing them soon. You might also send a follow-up email saying how much you enjoyed the interview and reiterate your motivation for the job. This is another way of setting you apart from other candidates, as it shows you really are interested in the job. It really is imperative that you sell yourself right up until the end of the interview. Be well prepared and proactive, and you'll definitely make an impact.